we're back. What's up, everybody? Carolina Keith, regular Keith, Professor Keith, just Keith. Merry Christmas to everybody. December 23rd, New Year's right around the corner. Christmas 2 days away. Christmas Eve is tomorrow. We won't have a live stream on Thursday, so let's do a Christmas stream today. Christmas is for the family. Christmas is a special season for our family, so we ain't going to work on that day. We take that day off. I think that's all right. I think everybody else around the world should do so as well. Glad to see you. Welcome back. Thank you for joining me on Crypto Before Dark. If you haven't done so, please go hit like. It's free. It costs absolutely nothing. While you're there, hit the notification bell and subscribe. Google tells me that most of you guys who watch this aren't subscribed. It's free. Why not? Exactly. It costs absolutely nothing. It only helps the algorithm and helps people get real information and real data. No BS, no hopium, straight facts, straight data. That's how we do it here. That's the way we've done it from day one, and that's the way we will always do it. People will get mad at me because of that. It will come off as though I hate or I'm angry. Not the case at all. It's quite contrary, actually. I have very little emotions when it comes to any of these assets. For anyone new who's watching or anyone who just saw us pop up on the algorithm, please know there's no emotions attached to any particular asset. Be that XRP, Bitcoin, gold, silver, Tesla, Apple, Nvidia. It doesn't matter to me. They're all just charts. They're all just mathematics on a screen in front of you. And that's all I care about. What does that matter? Well, what we found out through years of trial and error is that more often than not, the chart tells us if a company is good or bad. And it doesn't matter whether that's going all the way back in history to look at Enron and seeing that the chart actually nosed over before any allegations about any bad stuff came out. Or the chart looked good, like Google, which did retrace a long time ago and then turned up and has never really stopped since. We find that usually the chart looks good, and then the company follows along with very good earnings reports, very good profitability, new technologies, new partnerships, etc. They all tend to happen after the chart looks good. And if the chart looks bad, hey, guess what? Probably not worth investing in that company. It's not really that complicated. It's just charts. It's just mathematics on a screen with fancy shapes. All right. It's not as complicated as people make it out to be. And there's a lot of other convoluted stuff that people will pile on top of that about how they feel. And I'll give you an example. What's up, everybody? Good to see you, AWZ. Good to see you, Wesley Hart. What's up, my cousin Jeremy? Shout out. What's up, everybody watching over on Rumble? Appreciate you guys over there. Appreciate you guys watching on X. People will say something like, well, they're doing everything that needs to be done in this sector in order to be the number one. Or I really like their tech and that it works. You don't really know. You feel like, you know. You feel like they've got what it takes. You think, you feel like, you hope, but none of that stuff is reality. You don't really get to see the financials of most of these companies. You don't really understand that even when they're putting out these earnings reports to show they made good money, they actually fudge those numbers around a good bit before they put them out in order to get the requisite response that they want from investors. All right. It's their job to make as much money as they can to make their board happy. And then if their board's happy, then the shareholders are happy. And that's the same way that cryptos work without the board and the shareholders. You just buy crypto coins or tokens out there in the nether, and you are an owner at that point. Now, the more you have, the more stake in the game is yours, right? Now, do I believe in the tech of any of this stuff? Nope. Nope. You got me on that one.
Wrong.
Don't really care. Be that, whether it's Bitcoin is the new world currency.
Wrong.
Nope, that's dollars. Sorry. Yeah, Keith, you don't understand. Fiat's going down.
Wrong.
Not anytime soon. Not anytime soon. So long as we're still in charge, it ain't going nowhere. Hard for you to understand, and hard for that to be the reality that is what it is, but you don't want to hear it. Facts are facts. Dollars here to stay. The U.S. is in charge. If you didn't know that, just look around. Everybody wants to be us, even if they say they don't like us. Sorry. You didn't want to hear that either, but it is what it is. Could fiat become a thing of the past? Yes. As a matter of fact, it could. When? You don't know. To say a year, 4 years, 10 years, 20 years, you don't know. So stop pretending that you do, and let's just stick to the charts where all the answers are already there for us. I've got Bitcoin pulled up here first. This is a bit of a Christmas stream, and what do I mean by Christmas stream? If you guys have anything you'd like looked at chart-wise, just drop a comment in the comment section of any particular place where you're streaming this, be that over on X, on Rumble, where your alternative viewing platform, or over on YouTube. Drop the ticker in the chat here, and we'll look it up and chart it. I've already got a few requests written down over here, and I'm going to go through those. I'll start with Bitcoin. I'll do Bitcoin first every time. It's the number one asset. It's pretty much what's pulling everything in either direction, up or down. So we'll talk about it first, and then we'll get all the way through this, and we'll go for a while, and then we'll be done until next week, because we're not going to have a stream on Thursday. Christmas is a day off for my family, and that's just how it is, right? So long as I continue to have my own business and run my own thing, that's what it's going to be. I've got the daily chart pulled up here first, and what I want you to see is the longs and the shorts. Let me go ahead and record this bit, actually. I got the jazz playing already. So shout out to Rob Shadows. Good to see you. Merry Christmas to you, brother. He said, dang, closed captions aren't working. I get it. Yeah, we're not going to stop making the videos. It's all good. I'll do this even if things change for me on the back end. We're still going to do live streams. It's part of the gig, man. It keeps people informed even if you don't like me. Even if you don't like what I have to say, you have to hear the information and go, yeah, man, that sucks. It's true, but I don't like it, but it's true. The longs are in green and the shorts are in red. And I'm talking about the horizontal lines that you see. Essentially, wherever there are highs and lows, that's where a lot of either one of those piled in. Shorts being in red, meaning bets against the market, and longs being in green, meaning bets for the market. Now, as you see, when I zoom out a little bit here, there's lots and lots and lots of bets against the market, and just not that many bets for the market. What happens is when you're in a downtrend, like we're in now, and you see constant sell pressure pushing down on the price, longs that are very few and far in between keep getting attacked. When they get attacked, you see liquidations. What are liquidations? Well, liquidations are where one person might put $100 bet on something, but they borrow $1,000 with that $100, and that's called a 10x leverage. And they bet that on the price to go up. And that liquidation price is where the market says, the exchange tells you, no, you're wrong, and while you don't want to be wrong, you are. You're going to lose your money at this level. All right, we can monitor those levels because we can see where most of the bids are being put in. We mark those levels with green lines and red lines along the way. We're able to see where these prices are likely to go in either direction. So we haven't had it happen in a few days, but the liquidations here are around 84,000 to 84.5 to 85.250. So that $750 range for Bitcoin there is where a lot of liquidations sit. And that's for longs. Now for shorts in red, you're all the way up here over 92,000, almost 93,000. And you have some that have recently entered around 88,750. Those are your two current liquidation levels. It's more likely that the 88,750 level gets liquidated. There's not a ton of shorts there. There are lots of shorts up there around 92.8, 93, right? That would be the level that I would expect longs to try to attack. What the problem is, they just don't have any momentum. It looks like via this trend line right here that they tried to get some momentum, and we may be on the good side of things. Until I add in some other stuff, like an 821 EMA, you start to see, no, she's failing the 8 EMA actually. And this candle right here that got through yesterday is what we call a spinning top. Not great. It also could be considered a gravestone doji. It also could be considered an inverted hammer. All these could be ugly signs here, and it looks like it wants to roll over and slow down. It is a high, a low, lower high, lower low. Lower high, are we going to get a lower low in here? If so, that lower low, I would be looking somewhere around 82,000. If it's not a lower low, then we're going to break this level back up here around 88, 89,000. and start our journey up, and which would be clearly on the other side of this trend line as well. We don't have any signs of that happening yet. Here's your RSI, your relative strength index. As you see in the purple zone is nominal, not much help at all. You were oversold, you are not overbought, so no help there. Here's your MACD. It continues to trend sideways and up while price does nothing. It's not much of a help here for this. This is moving average convergence divergence. It gives us a bit of an oscillating sign of the flow and momentum of the market for this particular asset. And as you see, while it is crossed upward in the proper direction, it's just still under the midline and not much volume to move the needle here. So really no help from that either. Go looking at the pivot points. There are kind of predetermined stop and go points along the way that can help us see where price is likely to go. Right down here at this $82,000 is where the S1 pivot or support 1 pivot is, kind of where I think the lower low may come in at. And if not, the level for us to breach would be about 94,000. As you see, there's a couple short levels right there that would get taken out along the way. Here's the Ichimoku cloud. Ichimoku cloud is a lagging but very useful indicator that helps us see, is it a yay or is it a nay? And we use that in fourths. We break it down into 4 parts. Is the cloud on the end green or red? Green would be good. Red, that would be bad. What do we got? We got red. Sorry, she's red. All right. It's going to be the same thing over here for the other parts of this. The lag line in the back right here, the white line that you see, is it above the candles or below the candles? We'd like it to be above. Is it above? Nope, it's below. That's no help. Is the price above the cloud? Right here's the current price. Is it above the cloud or below the cloud? She's below. No help there. How about the baseline and the conversion line, the red and the blue line? Red line is the baseline, conversion line is the blue line. You want the conversion line above the baseline. What do we got? It's under. 4 out of 4 no on your Ichimoku cloud. No on the pivots. No on the 821 EMA. No on the trend line. Your oscillators aren't any help. 7 no's. That's a lot of no's. So for me, for now, no Santa rally, no help. Not yet. That's the way I see it for the Bitcoin. Sorry. I wish it was better news. It ain't. All right, so let's move on and find some other stuff. And I got some ones I've written down here that we're going to go through and look at. First one I've got a request for is HBAR. So another thing about most of these altcoins is most of them look like trash. Honestly, they all look terrible. And HBAR is not going to be any different here. So for HBAR, I see the same thing I saw on Bitcoin, still a bit of a falling knife. As you see, we started at the high up here. And we've consistently made lows and lower highs and lower lows and lower highs and lower lows and lower highs and lower lows and lower high and lower low and lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. This is just a steady heartbeat of down and sideways until we see sell pressure break and we see a trend change and something different happens. This is simply a falling knife, and we don't catch falling knives. We wait for falling knives to hit the floor. Now, it did go oversold, and when you see something that's oversold, in general, it can be a good time to start thinking about finding places to buy. As you see previous oversold conditions back in June, October, and now. Each time we've had some sort of bounce. Now this bounce here was a bit smaller, and we haven't really broken any momentum here. As you see, that RSI is still trending downward any way we look at it. And the price did go oversold. It is still a little higher than it was since the oversold conditions. You could maybe argue that way down on a lower time frame, you have some sort of a higher low, and you could potentially be changing trend. But for me, for this, still a little bit too risky. MACD, way down low on the MACD. You did just cross back up north on that. That's not bad. And you are starting to see green volume come in. But I need something more to move the needle for me. For now, for me, this is still something I can't bite on until I see more. If you threw up your 821 EMA, you're seeing that you're getting rejected by the 8 EMA. No there. Ichimoku Cloud, 4 out of 4, no. Pivot points, you're below S1, and you bounced off of S2, but you're still floating around doing nothing. Bollinger Bands, they're not really that tight, so they're probably going to squeeze in some more. Not a lot of good going on here for H-bar. So for now, for me, nah. Still a little bit ugly as can be. Caspa. Caspa is one that was requested a while back and I missed, and that's on me. And I shouldn't have missed it, my bad, but nonetheless, it didn't get any better since it was requested. So we peaked out back here in August of last year on Caspa and had a really, really nice run when everything else was doing kind of bad. Problem is, since then, it hasn't done anything except fail. If I step out to the weekly first, excuse me, sorry, still healing a little bit here from the flu. I've gotten way better. Problem is now the wife's got it. But looking at it on the weekly, you're underneath the 8 EMA in green here, the 21 EMA in purple, no go. You're getting pounded down by the trend line. You're under the 100 and the 50 moving averages here, which are the blue line and the yellow line, 150. No help there. Ichimoku Cloud on the weekly is a flat out no, 4 out of 4. Now you did come down here to this support area that was formed up in the summer of 2023. It did bounce that said support area, and technically you do have a higher low here. Right here was your low, and then a high, and then a higher low. As you can see, it's a little higher than the last one. The problem is we haven't gotten a higher high yet, and that higher high would have to pretty much break the trend and come on this side of the trend line to make any good juice here. 821 EMA, well, could be worse here. You're actually inside the wait a minute zone on this. That was a terrible arrow. That's better. Wait a minute zone in between the 8 EMA and the 21 EMA could be worse. You rejected off of that 50 moving average. Not great. You'd like to see some improvement from there instead of failure and rejection. Looks like it's going to slow down to me, but either way, it's in the wait a minute zone. So I'll just wait a minute on it. Once I get some change out of that, if it goes over the 8 EMA, back through the 21 and gets back over, that would be great. I still don't have an upward cross, and I'm still not over the 50, so sketchy at best. Still under the trend also. Needs to break that trend line, as I said. RSI, really no help there, nominal trading. And your MACD, you really just crossed over recently. It's a little higher MACD than most. That's not bad. And it hasn't gotten over the midline yet, as you see. And you do have a 1 green volume bar. Not a terrible MACD. Looking at the Ichimoku Cloud, way different than Bitcoin. Look at this. So lag line is still a no. It's under the candles. You still got your conversion line under the base. That's a no-go. You still have a red cloud on the end, but the price is inside the cloud. Now, it's going to have to get all the way back up here to over 5 cents, over a nickel. If it can get over a nickel, you'll have everything start to flip over on the Ichimoku Cloud. Your lag line will be up above the candles. You'll see that the cloud turns green. Excuse me. And you'll see that this conversion and this baseline start to pinch together. Problem is they haven't done that yet. So we got to wait a little bit longer on it, but it's better than some. Still not good enough to really, really move the needle for me. So I'm just waiting to see. What's up, Matt? Good to see you, brother. All right. Let's jump around a little bit here. All right. I see you over there. NXRA. All right. This one's going to be a big old no. As you see, just like the ones I just looked at, still pounding downtrend here. Rejecting everything. 821 EMA, nope. 50 moving average, nope. All the other moving averages, nope. If you look at the Ichimoku Cloud, nope. RSI, no real help. It was super oversold, I'll give you that one. It is above where it was oversold. That's worth noting. MACD still way down. You do have some green volume coming in. This one looks like it's sort of just a slave to the market, and it's getting pummeled still. As long as it continues to get pummeled like this, Nothing really moves the needle for me. OKB. All right, OKB. So this is a little bit interesting. It's much different than some that we've seen. Here's the Ichimoku cloud for OKB. She's rejecting so far right at the bottom of the cloud. What's up, Cody Kensel? Good to see you, brother. Merry Christmas. Right at the bottom of the cloud, rejecting. Red cloud lag line is above the candles ever so slightly. Your baseline and conversion line are upside down still. Not exactly good enough. 821 EMA. Yes, look at there. So you're over the 821 EMA right here. As you see, you got one, and this will be the second close over today. Problem is you're getting pinned down by that 50 moving average. Be careful. She needs to get over that as well. Obviously, that's becoming a bit of a head fake. Be careful. Above that's the 200 moving average. It did have a really ugly death cross right there. It did respond to that death cross with some price action. And looking at the weekly, looks like it's sort of consolidating to me under the 821 EMA weekly, kind of going sideways. Better than most, though. We've seen a lot of these look really bad. This one looks a little bit better than terrible, which isn't, which is to say something, since a lot of other stuff looks terrible, right? XRP. Whether it was requested or not, I was going to do XRP. So let's have a gander. Just like a lot of the ones I'm noting here, there's our downtrend line. She's still getting hammered down by sell pressure. Every time you get some green, hey, I see it. It looks a little better than it did. Problem is it's just rejecting the ADMA, and you can't really sustain any of these buys for longer than a couple days. We need sustained buy pressure to come in and hold these levels up. I do think that it's due a bounce in here somewhere. But looking at the weekly, it doesn't look like it's going to be tomorrow. You know what I mean? You're getting rejected week over week here by this trend line. The RSI continues to point downward on the weekly after going ever so overbought slightly, but there back at the summertime. And it's really slowed down since then. It looks like to me this is heading to the 100 moving average at some point, down around 166. That's the weekly 100 moving average. That's kind of what it looks like. I need to see a trend break here, really. Break that green line, that trend line right there. And that'll at the same time be an 821 EMA cross. It'll be attacking the 50-day moving average in yellow right there. Your Ichimoku cloud, it's inside the cloud. That's better than most. I'll give it to you, but still not good enough. Pivot points, she's playing around with this one here. Hasn't quite got over the hump yet. Bollinger Bands aren't quite tight enough. Your RSI isn't quite low enough to be oversold. It's kind of nominal. And your MACD is pretty much dead sideways. So, in summation, even XRP, one of the bigger ones here, kind of flat. I need to see some trend breaks. I need to see some sustained volume. And so far, just haven't seen it. All right. Boy. So, this is the last crypto we'll do, and then we'll do some stocks. This one set everything on fire recently. I'm going to chart DAG here. And again, this is totally unbiased. I don't care one way or the other. Good or bad. Doesn't matter to me. I don't own any DAG. I don't plan on buying any. I don't plan on selling any. I don't tell anybody what to buy. I don't tell anybody what to sell. You make your own choices. That's the beauty of what we do here. We just read charts. And because I just read charts, it really hurts people's feelings, gets people upset. I don't care about the roadmap. I don't care about the team. I don't care about the tech. I don't care about what partnerships you may or may not think they have. I don't care what the names of those partnerships are. I don't care how much money they have. I don't care what kind of cars they drive. I don't care if they have beards or not. None of that matters to me. If the company's good and they're doing well and the tech is good and they make good money, that will reflect on the chart. That's the way the whole world works. That's supply and demand 101. If you have a good product, people want it, they will buy it, price will go up. That's it. If you bad product and people don't like it and it's not any good, people won't buy it and the price will go down. Simple. Now, there are other little things that could change stuff like tokenomics. For instance, if you paid people hundreds of dollars a day for stuff and they immediately took that money and then sold it off and created sell pressure on top of sell pressure on top of sell pressure in the middle of a market that's already bad, would that be bad for the asset? Yes, it would. Could that be this one? You make up your own mind. I don't care either way. But let's look at the chart and be indifferent nonetheless. Here's the weekly look. As you see, week over week over week, it's been pretty rough, except last week. Last week was a bullish engulfing. Cannot deny that bullish engulfing right there. Nice. First time it's done that in a long time. You'll look back in history and see that all the way back into September was the last time it had a weekly bullish engulfing. The week after that was a little bit rough. Let's not talk about that one. And then following that, it got bad again. But we do have a weekly bullish engulfing. That's a good sign. Do we have any other things here that make us want to go, ooh, let's think about buying? Well, we are hitting 2020 upper support. Back in history right there, you can see it right there's the upper support from 2020. You had some up there, it's already failed that and turned that into resistance. You have lower support down here if it wants to fail more. Getting into that lower support is the last line of defense. Again, that doesn't mean bullish. That's the last line of defense. That's like saying I had 10 rows of army soldiers and I'm all the way down to the last row. That wouldn't be bullish. That would be like, oh crap, things are getting serious, right? But it is digging into this one and trying to bounce out of this support zone. That's a good thing. RSI, boy, just about got oversold, didn't it? Yeah. This would be the first time in the history of DAG that it was ever oversold. See that? Now, when something's oversold, we tend to, in general, look for places to buy. And this would be no different of an asset. If it's going to be oversold, you want to look for a place to buy. Cool, I get it. I'm here for it. We'll get down to the daily chart in a second. Here's the weekly MACD. As you see, this thing is buried down here, but it's been worse. Look back here how bad it was back in 2022, right? So this MACD's been worse before. For now, she's still buried. She is trying to come up. It is trying to converge, MACD. It's trying to converge now. Would be nice to see it flip over there and turn green. Hasn't done it just yet. All right, how about the daily? Cool. So here's the daily look. We've had 4 out of 6 days green here. Nice. If I pull up the 821 EMA, hey, looky here. Here's some good signs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days in a row over the 8 EMA. Excellent. If I were breaking this down into thirds, I want 2 closes over the 8 EMA to be my first buy signal. I've got that. I want an 821 EMA cross upward to be my second buy signal. I don't have that yet. And I'd want my third buy signal to be over the 50-day moving average. This would eliminate vast amounts of risk and give me a higher chance for reward by separating this into thirds, going in and out. All right. So I've got one of the 3 markers. If I had 10 grand, I would be buying $3,333 worth, and I would keep the other money waiting to see what would happen. That would be the plan if I was using a third strategy or the Reaper strategy, right? So we call the Reaper strategy. So some good signs there. I'm glad to see it's over the 8 EMA. First time it's done this for a sustained period of time since before November, all the way back into September was when it did this last time, right? And I did fail from there. Let's see if it can maintain this buy pressure. I don't want to see it fail too much farther than this. If it gets back under 0.012 again, we're probably going to go for lows again. Hopefully it stays up above that. If we look at our pivots, we are dead on the S1 pivot. That's nice. Not bad. If we look at our Ichimoku cloud, we're trying to improve here. As you see, we're getting closer to the cloud. The cloud is very thick. That tends to be heavier resistance. It can get through it. It's going to take time, though. As far as if we have a check mark or an X, but we still got 4 red marks. We're under the candles with the lag line. No good. You're underneath the conversion and base. Not good. Your candles are not above the cloud. Not good. And the cloud is still red. So as far as the Ichimoku cloud goes, 4 out of 4 no on that. We have a bullish sign on the daily. We have a couple potential markers on the weekly. Not bad. One more time, let's zoom out all the way to the monthly. Right? Keith, you're not looking high time frame enough. I care about years from now. Perfect. Let's look at years from now. This monthly candle is the best monthly candle you've had in 1, 2, 3, 4 months. So an entire quarter and some change of the year. This month, which is still red, is the best looking candle you've had since then. And before that, there was another whole 7 months where it also sucked out loud. So you can understand that most people would be bearish on this asset if you just removed your emotions and looked at it. Now, is there potential for a bounce here? Yes, there is. If you can hold this support box and close, there's about 8 more days left in this month. It's a potential that we could bounce back north and go back into this red resistance box right here, where a lot of these candles closed previously and didn't quite get through. Now, that's a hard thing to do. Getting through that at about 0.025 or about 2.5 cents would be a heavy, heavy marker that something good is happening and she's trying to push into it. Closing above that is crucial. It needs to get above that level. As a matter of fact, it wouldn't be breaking a downtrend unless it got past the red line here. It's not going to be easy, is it? And created a new high, which is all the way back up here on the monthly at about over 7 cents. Be like 8 cents to make a new monthly higher high. Now that's an 8x from here. That would be a long way just to try to improve into an uptrend, which tells me that this thing is so far down and so bad that there are potential gains there for a bounce. I think this thing can bounce back to about 2.5 cents. That's over 100% from here. That doesn't mean it can maintain that, but I think it can have a chance to get back there. That's going to be the crucial marker, is breaking through that. Until that happens, there's really nothing else to look at, because if it doesn't happen and it fails from there, you're looking at a whole nother year of sell pressure minimum. All right. And if that year of sell pressure isn't enough for you, there's no guarantee beyond that. If it gets below this yellow box, I don't think it ever comes back. Simple as that. I don't care what kind of partnerships, teams, friends, jerkmates, whatever you have, it wouldn't be good enough. Now that's a 100% honest, unbiased opinion on this. There are some good things happening with the chart. There are also a lot of bad things happening with the chart. Please do not be an ape or a degen and think you should just throw money around at everything. Please make sound decisions. Please make smart decisions. Don't listen to me. Do this analysis for yourself. See what you think. Nonetheless, room for improvement, a chance for some gains. I'm not a hater. I am not the world's enemy about this. I don't hate DAG. I don't have a problem with Constellation at all. As a matter of fact, hang on. I have a Constellation coaster on my desk. You guys are all just really emotional about it for no reason. So let's get on to the next one. Hope you enjoyed that. Damn. That's going to really piss some people off when they watch that back. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. That's not true. Okay. Mouth breathers don't necessarily move the needle for me. So let's do a couple more and then we'll be done, shall we? Got a couple stocks to go through. Netflix. So there's been a lot of talk recently about Netflix. Why? Well, in case you guys weren't aware of it, there's been a whole information streaming battle going on between Disney and Paramount and Netflix. And the effort basically is they're trying to buy as many companies as they can and monopolize as much as they can as far as streaming goes, because they started to realize that cable's going away, and moving to a streaming platform with as many channels on it as possible is the best way to go. People want to watch on the go. They want to watch when they want to watch. They don't really give a shit about what you want. And really the only thing keeping cable alive is live sports, right? So even live sports are starting to go to streaming apps. The changes are happening. There was thoughts that Netflix was going to be making a big purchase, right? Buying a huge thing. Guess what? Look at the chart and tell, don't look like it's going to happen. This is the monthly chart for Netflix. And as you see, she's starting to nose over here. Pull a trend line on it. That's a failed uptrend. Watch out. 821 EMA is also failing on the monthly. Not great. Flip it to the weekly. Is it any better?
Damn. Wrong.
It ain't no better. She's just as bad there. Failed the 821 EMA, failed the 50 moving average. Looks like it's heading south to the 100 moving average. Really interesting is they even tell you here they'll tell you on TradingView upcoming events. They recently had a stock split, etc. They're not going to be able to make the purchase they thought they were going to make, and it looks like it's going to be Paramount that comes in and scoops it up for more money. We'll see. I don't see it right now in the charts. Everything looks bearish to me. Aside from the candle that it just threw today, fell in the 821 EMA, fell in the 50, the 100, the 200, everything as hard as it has is a bad sign. Does it mean it's done? No. Look, it's oversold and it's still playing around here at the base. So is it a bad thing to try to find a place in here? You're getting a hell of a rebate for what it's worth. This thing topped out at what? 134, and you're down to 93. You're getting a 30% rebate from the highs here. Not bad. So if you want to try to find a place to buy some, I get it. Look at the MACD. It's way down, starting to try to cross up. Is there a possibility we see some green here in the future? I think so. Is it meaning that this thing's going to take off and fly? Not necessarily. Still a lot of sell pressure and a lot of downtrends. Not exactly moving the needle good enough for me yet. We'll see. I forget what it is they're trying to buy, but again, it's more than just one thing. I want to say it was like Hulu or something. They're trying to merge a bunch of streaming stuff together. That's essentially what's up. That being said, let's look at Disney. So recently, Disney failed really, really hard and failed under the trend line. It spiked up real quick at the beginning of November and then rolled right back down post earnings, because good earnings mean the chart's going to go up, right?
Wrong.
Doesn't mean that at all. It actually went down on Disney. Make that make sense for all you. Oh, it's up on earnings report. Wrong.
Wrong. Wrong. Wrong.
It's up because there's more buyers than sellers. All right. So anyway, recently we've started a fresh new uptrend on Disney, as you can see there. You've broken all the 8 EMA, 21 EMA, 50, 100, 200 moving averages, sliced right through them. Very nice. If you flip it to weekly here, you get a little bit better look at it. It looks like a breakout to me. Ichimoku cloud on the weekly. It's trying to ride the valley up on that Ichimoku cloud right there and hang on. Still 2 out of 4. You got a green cloud on the weekly and the price is over the cloud. Problem. Your lag line is under the candles. That's not going to get it. And your conversion line is under the baseline. So you got 2 out of 4 on the weekly. And if you flip it to the daily, you're just about to get all 4. That's lag line over the candles. That's price over the cloud. That's conversion line over the baseline. And you're about to get the green cloud on the end. You're about to get 4 out of 4 on the Ichimoku cloud on the daily, which means the weekly won't be too far behind. Disney trying to turn things around here. Good. They've been stagnant for the better part of a decade. If I roll this back here, you'll see all the way back to 2015. You're actually under the price you were in 2015. They own over 200 companies in Disney, yet the price hasn't really moved in a decade. Sounds like bad leadership to me. You go look at any other of these streaming platforms, and they're parabolic, man. They're taking off and doing big things. And yet, you've got Disney, holding on to old heartstrings with, silly stuff like, Toy Story and Barbie and this kind of stuff. You're not innovating. You're just using the old stuff and recycling. So we'll see how long that can last with Disney. But I think it's time for a fresh face. I think you need some new blood in there and to stop being so damn woke and start thinking outside the box on how to make some fresh money. I don't know if you guys have been to Disney World lately, but the attendance is way down. And really, people are going to Disney. It's mostly adults, not kids anymore. It's mostly adults going for the adults, and the kids are like, okay, So we'll see if things change for them. But for now, hopefully a breakout. Let's see some damn improvements. Tesla. All right. Bust out the Tesla chart, shall we? And we shall. So, Tesla just recently, last week, broke the previous all-time high. Just this month, broke out from the inauguration shorts that formed up at the beginning of 2024. No fault of Tesla's at all. Big rundown. You got a massive rebate on Tesla back then. Over a 50% reduction in market cap for Tesla. Big sell-off. But what happens? That doesn't last long. Uptrend, that was your low. Here's your high, higher low, high, higher low, high. Still fighting north, still battling it out. You're actually up pre-market right now, or post-market, I'm sorry, from where you closed today. You have a half day tomorrow, I believe, or maybe it's off, I forget. Markets are a little bit wishy-washy during the holidays. But you can see the clear run up we've got new highs. So even if this thing wants to settle back some, it's just a rebate to be able to buy more. I think we may actually be able to come back to about 470, 465 and still hold water. 821 EMA, 50, 100 moving average look great. Ichimoku clouds 4 out of 4. Pivot points, you're sitting on top of R2. Your R3 pivot is all the way up there at 520. This lets me think we're going to run up more than $500. We'll probably hit 500 and play around whether that's a big psychological number. I actually like Tesla to go to 600 more sooner than later. That next pivot that's going to catch is all the way up there at 560. You're also going to see a pivot shift here in about 8 days. You're going to get all new pivots, and I bet your R1 will be up near $600. I bet your pivot point will be around $500, and it's only a matter of time of air opportunity and a clock for this thing to get up to 600 plus. I think Tesla's probably going to get to a $10 trillion valuation eventually. They're about $1.5 trillion right now. I think it's only a matter of time. I don't have to like the Tesla cars to buy the chart. That's all I care about is the chart. Doesn't matter to me. I don't own a Tesla, but I do have a bunch of Tesla shares. Do you have some? I don't know. Make up your mind on whether you want to buy some or not. Not quite overbought yet on the weekly, as you see. How about the daily? She's not overbought on the daily either. So it's got room and momentum for it to keep going. MACD trending up. Volume tapered off the last few days, but not bad. Here's your weekly MACD. As you see, green volume. You're pointing up. Not bad. Ichimoku cloud on the weekly. Yeah, she's 4 out of 4, sailing high and flying bright. So, again, not bad. I'm going to stick with it. If I get a discount back to 460, something like that, I might buy some more. We'll see. Crypto's been a bit of a joke, so I've moved over to buying stocks and precious metals like everybody else. And we'll see where things land on it, but I do like $500 to $600 in the near future for Tesla. So that's 45 minutes. I usually only go 30 minutes these days, but we did go longer than that. We had about 400 and some change people come on. That's pretty darn awesome for a holiday. So I want everybody to just relax a little bit this holiday, not look at charts, smile and enjoy your family. Today is the 9th anniversary of the day my dad died, right? I don't talk about that a lot. I don't like getting emotional and crap. I did visit the grave for the first time this year. So that's how my life goes. You guys don't have to understand how I grieve, but today's the 9th anniversary. So I had to take some time to think about some stuff and relax. Enjoy what I got in front of me. My opportunity to be a dad has been eventful, and I'm trying to make the best opportunities I can for my own children. It's not an easy world. Try to make my kids' lives better than my life. You guys don't know. I'll tell you, I got one in early college. He's a 10th grader. He's a sophomore in early college. He'll graduate with an associate's degree from high school. I got another one that's in middle school. Both my kids are straight A students. Neither one of them has a rap sheet. They work very difficult, hard schedules, and they stay on them very, very well. I wish they had cleaner rooms, but that's about it. So try to make the most of your opportunities, enjoy your family, and have a good holiday, everybody. Merry Christmas, and thank you for watching. You could have been anywhere in the world. You chose to be here with me. I appreciate that. Make the best of your todays, the worst of your tomorrows. Let's have a good day tomorrow, better than today. Enjoy your Christmas Eve. Enjoy your Christmas. Have a happy New Year. Thank you all. And if nobody else has told you today, Keith will tell you. Keith loves you. Thank you, guys. I'll see you on the next stream next week. Sky's the limit. I'm out. Y'all be good, man. Peace.